kind of wanted to make another video explaining why I recorded what I recorded today, because I know it's going to cause some issues, and I tend to do that sometimes and not mean to, but also, first of all, let me start this off by saying, this is not to bash anybody. This is not to put down Aner Elementary or the principals there, because they're both very good principals, especially Miss Cook. She was my oldest son, who is 17. That was his first teacher ever, his kindergarten teacher in Loris. And he's 17. So, you know, both of them are excellent. You know what I mean? They do great jobs at that school. So this is not to bash anybody. But at the end of the day, light needs to be shed on this. People need to be talking about it, even, you know, more so now. Which again, I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to get in trouble for this. Because any other time I've ever said anything about the school or posted anything, I usually end up with a phone call in the afternoon about what I said, because it'll get screenshotted or sent to the school or the principals. I moved out to Aner to start over roughly 6 years ago. Found my dream home, moved my kids here, all that. And it's been nothing but chaos. And it's all centered around the schools. But basically the problem and what you see in that video is, ever since that school opened this year, they added this new school loop. So instead of going down the bus lane in the morning and the other side, which is what we used to do, because the buses are done at 7 o'clock when the school opens. So they have both lanes going, and it usually takes like maybe 5 to 8 minutes, and you drop your kid off, you're good to go. So if you're actually late, it's because you're late. But now, the way they have this loop, they literally, it is war. It's war on parents, just to even try and get your kid into the building on time. So basically what's happening is they've opened up this new school loop, and you're forced to go through it. They have shut down the parking lot with police officers, so you cannot park in the mornings. I mean, the parking lot is open. At first it was open to, you know, like kids with disabilities, handicapped, kids in wheelchairs. It made it more, you know, they could park in the parking lots in the morning because it was just easier accessible to them, which, you know, I understand, I get that. But then I've noticed that it's kind of turned into, you know, if you know the police officer, if you are like a mom at the PTO, or, you know, whatever. I mean, even if I sound stupid, because I'm assuming you can see it for yourself that certain people are allowed to park there in the mornings to get their kid in and walk them in, instead of being forced to go to the school line. And it is no longer just handicap or disabled children. We could park in the parking lot in the very beginning, like most normal schools, but a lot of parents ruin that for other parents, because they would just be in such a hurry that they wouldn't even park. They just roll in the parking lot, drop their kid off, and then you'd had all these little kids running in different directions that were too little to be doing that, you know, it kind of ruined it for everybody. So now you cannot park in that parking lot in the morning, unless, you know, for various reasons. Like I said, it is closed off with police officers at 7 a.m. until the school line is done, or until basically the late bell rings. But when the late bell rings, because there's so many parents still dropping their kids off, you'll see that sign that's put out there that basically says you're tardy. All the teachers will go in, but the school line will still be going. And you're literally seeing in that video parents like running for the fucking door. Excuse my language. Running for the door. Like, I mean, full force running. Because if you're late or you require too many tardies, they will chastise you. And anybody that knows me knows that I can speak on this very well, because I have been through this. You know, even with school notes, doctor's notes, specialists like special doctors in Charleston, homebound forms that you've applied for. With all of that, even in family court, they will still put you under contracts, 4-year contracts, that basically state if you mess up or your kid messes up, that you'll go to jail and do jail time, which I am currently under. My son Christopher has a 4-year contract that states that if he gets in trouble or misses days, that he will do 60 days in jail, and so will I. Well, if I go to jail, there's nobody that can pick my slack up. I don't have family. I have no brothers and sisters, no aunts and uncles, nobody. Okay? So if I get put in jail, what's going to happen to us? All 5 of my kids are going to get taken and put into foster care because I am the sole custodial parent. I maintain sole custody with visitation at my discretion with all 5 kids. So if that happens, then we lose our home. We lose our life. My children lose everything that they have, all because of some tardiness, because they have this idea of one size fits all, and it is not one size fits all. It does not work that way. But now parents are reduced to, like, now that we can't park in the parking lots and you're forced to go through that line, which again, you go through that line after 7:10, you're going to be late. You will be late. You get in that building, for instance, we'd go through the school line. We'd get there after dropping Chris off at the high school to catch the bus to ATA, which is near Loris, which is 20 minutes away, 25 minutes away. We'd get in the school line, and by the time we'd get there, we'd have about 5 minutes before the late bell rings. Neb would run in, Caden goes in. Caden eats breakfast with pre-K after everybody starts school. They go in after everybody else is done, so he never got late or got tardies. But Nova would go in and eat breakfast, and she would always be marked tardy. She had 22 tardies, and then they did the whole send us to family court again, and we had to go to this meeting with a bunch of other parents to talk to the judge that I've already seen, that does not care if you have doctor's notes or a lawyer or, proof showing that you're not truant, that you had a sick child. They don't care. She doesn't care. She's the one that put me under that contract with my sick child. But I had to go to that meeting already with Nova, and then they try to get you to sign this paper that are impossible standards to adhere to. And since it's not really a court date, it's just a meeting, they can't force you to sign it. So I didn't sign it. I sat in the meeting, I left, didn't sign it. And for about a week or two, they literally kept calling me every week. Are you going to sign it? Are you going to sign it? Drop it off at the school. Until finally I had to basically email the lady and inform her that I was not signing that paper, because even at the top it says for 12 and up. My daughter's 8. So she doesn't even meet the age limits for this piece of paper. But this piece of paper had standards that I just can't adhere to. So if I were to sign that, then they could legally hold me to those standards, and I would be in even more trouble. Because again, this one size fits all does not work for every parent. For instance, I have 5 kids that go to 4 different schools, all within a 15-minute time frame of each other. And a lot of the times they'd be like, well, just put your kids on the bus. For one, I can't do as early as some of these buses are coming. I'm the only parent. I'm still up at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night finishing laundry, doing the dishes, because I also keep a very clean house on top of the very hectic schedule I have with 5 kids, 2 of which that have health issues. Jaden has to have hernia surgery over the summer. He also has to see an endocrinologist for growth hormone shots because his bones are not growing with his body. Christopher got sick 2 years ago and has to see a specialist. Excuse me, there's a wasp. Get on with your bad self, I'm in my garage. So, we go to Charleston a lot, all of that, and I'm not complaining. I guess I'm just explaining that parents can't meet these standards, not every parent. And so parents now are resorted to parking on the side of the highway, as you saw in that video, literally right there on the side stretch where the traffic is coming in from highway to get into the school. Parents are not even parking on school grounds, basically. They're parking in front of the school on the highway to walk up that bus lane. So a few parents kind of started parking up the sides of the bus lane on the grass because we don't want to get run over. We don't want our kids to get run over. It's not safe to park on the side of the highway to walk your child up to the school building so they can actually eat breakfast and get in school on time. Because again, if you go through that school line, you are screwed. Because again, you're still at the end of it basically running up to get in before that bell rings. And I know it's, again, not the principal's fault, because even when I spoke to them, they were just like, the school district just told us to do what we could, that's what it is. But I've also learned that they're adding 700 new homes to Aner in the next year or 2. They've already got 3 cookie cutter neighborhoods going up that are being built at this very moment, all around the school, all around the schools, within a mile radius of the schools of elementary, middle, and high school. And these houses are side by side, on top of each other. So these contractors do not care that they are overpopulating the country, and there's a reason it's the country, and there's a reason people live out here, to get away from the hustle and bustle and all the busyness in the big towns and places where they are very overpopulated. But again, contractors don't care. They see land, they want to develop it, and they put all kind of houses on top of each other and sell. Because for them, it's all about money. They do not care where they overpopulate. The schools are not built to handle 700 new homes. So the war that's going on right now with these schools trying to just even function with their rules, is ridiculous and crazy. And again, now, we're reduced to parking on the side of the highway so we can get our kids up that bus lane. And then this morning, the principal comes running down because she's like, y'all can't park there. Because again, some parents ruin it for others that are in a hurry and they don't walk their child up. They just kind of park and let them out and run. And like, you've literally got like a school line, police officer directing traffic, parking lot being blocked off by police officers, and kids running all over the property on the school grounds, literally trying to get into the school, because it's like that now. It's not just you roll in, you let your kid out. It's there's not enough room. There's too many people, too many kids. There's not enough, sorry, my hangnail. There's just not enough. There's too many. It's not big enough. The school line is not quick enough for the time frame that they give you. And again, truancy is like a war on parents. There is no more understanding. There is no more, some parents that just don't have it that way, that have a hard life and, have to do a lot of things on their own so they can be behind a little bit. There is no understanding for them anymore. Again, it's this one size fits all. And I'm sorry for the long video. A lot of you probably won't watch all the way through, but I needed to put this out there because it's just becoming crazy. And I'm sorry, but I'm gonna park right there. I'm not gonna park on the side of the highway. I'm not gonna go up the bus lane, which there are some people that can, because they just know everybody in that place, and they're liked in this town, so they can do as they please. Because I will say, these small towns have that good old boy concept of you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, but no one else can. But I'm not gonna get run over, and I'm not gonna have my children get run over because they're small. And we should not have to park on the side of the highway to run up to get into school on time so my daughter can eat breakfast without being tardy, so we don't get sent to court and they don't put jail over my head and take my children away and throw us in jail because I'm a single parent with no family support, which is not their fault. But you can't do this to people and think that no one's gonna say something. I might have a small platform, and I already know I've pissed a lot of people off in this town. I'm not gonna lie, I've pissed a lot of people off, excuse my messiness. I'm outside of my garage today doing some paperwork because it's nice outside, and I've been running busy all week with all kinds of doctor's appointments and dentist appointments. I mean, I've got one kid that goes to Blackwater Middle School because of how bad it got at Aner Middle School. And anybody that's dealt with Aner Middle School, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That place is just a nightmare. And sorry, just trying to fix my hair. But either way, this whole situation that they have going on, the little video that I put this morning, I had to record it because I already knew that principal was coming to tell me to move. That's the whole reason I started backing up when I did, because she was going to come tell me to move my car. But again, I'm not going to be resorted to parking on the side of the highway to get my kid in the building so I don't have to be sent to court and pay attorney fees to keep me out of jail because I'm a single parent household that has no help. So it's on me. And you want me to, not do this and not do that. I can't park in the parking lot, but I have to go through the school line because that's just what it is. And y'all already know what it is about that time. Y'all already know we're going to be late. And what's funny to me is some people can be late and never get in trouble at all with that good old boy system. But then you got people like me who, are generally just trying to live and make a life for themselves. I might have a past, but that's not who I am now. And I don't enjoy having to go on social media and talk about it or put it out there, but that's just how life is right now and how it is nowadays. And if someone doesn't say something about it, it's only gonna get worse. And I'm pretty sure I'm probably, like I said, gonna get in trouble for this, or, they're gonna be like, oh, well, your daughter's been tardy one too many times, we're gonna send you back to court. And because I didn't sign that paper, who knows, I might get in trouble for that. But at the end of the day, like, all I am is a single mom trying to just make it in this world, get her kids to school on time, and, survive. That's it. But making us park on the side of the highway, but then not allowing us to park in a safe place, and then forcing us to go through a school loop that's going to make us late, that's going to cause you to get in trouble, because when you're late, they will literally send DSS after you. They will try to charge you with educational neglect. There is no educational neglect in that. If you're a single parent household with 5 kids that go to 4 different schools, all within a very short time frame of each other, and you might, and what's funny to me is all my other kids are not late. Like, I have managed to get everybody to school on time. It's just the babies that I have a hard time with. It's just Aner Elementary that I'm having a hard time getting my kids into school on time, because pretty much every other school has it worked out. There is no blocking off parking lots. Now, Aner Middle School, it was never such an issue with the parking lot or the school loop, even though they've changed it. It's just the building itself and the administrative people that run that school. They're not nice people, and it is what it is. But you know what? Again, I'm not trying to bash nobody, but I think pretty much everybody knows how Aner Middle School is. That's why I don't deal with them. But getting them into the high school, getting Chris to ATA, you know, even Jaden going to Blackwater, like, no problems. But with all these homes going up in Aner, and then it already being the way it is, I can't even fathom what's going to happen in the next couple of years on trying to get your kid into that school. And some parents can't get there early enough. I can't get there any earlier than 7:10, 7:15. Chris doesn't get on the bus till 7 o'clock at Aner High School to take that bus to ATA. And I can't drive him to ATA because I do not have the gas to go earlier than that to afford that. And I'm sorry, but I already get up at 5 a.m. If I get up at 4:30, 4 o'clock, there's no way I'm going to be able to function come 7, 8 o'clock at night. I'm going to be exhausted. Like, there is just not enough hours in the day to always get done what I need to get done. But if I can get everybody else to school on time, but I'm having a hard time with this situation, it's not just me. And again, the problem is it's not from the school itself. Everybody there is good, great. Again, I'm not bashing nobody. I don't want y'all to think that that's what I'm trying to do, but something has to be done. This cannot just be swept under the rug and us told to shut our mouths. Here you go, you're sent to court, you're in trouble, here's truancy charges, DSS is showing up at your door, which, by the way, I've had 3 or 4 times happen in the last 3 years, from, you know, having them called on me for educational neglect, which all stemmed from truancy. Because I had a sick kid, and it is what it is, and it all got dropped and all got beat because I am not that parent. There is no educational neglect. I mean, if anything, I go above and beyond, but people just don't like me because I have a mouth and I do things like this. And I blast people for the dumb shit that they do, because I'm sick of being told to shut up and take it and take this one size fits all, because that's not how life really works. And the more we condone to what they want, and the more we shut our mouth and do as we're told, the worse it's going to be. And I just don't think I'll ever be able to do the whole shut up and do as you're told. I've just never been able to do that. So I apologize for the 17-minute video. I've actually made this video twice, but something has to be said. So